Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Gooners podcast, guys. This is Bob here. I'm going to be the host for this show. And I'm joined here by Saints fan, obviously, because we are going to be talking about the Southampton game, which Arsenal are traveling to St. Mary's for. I'm joined here by Jordan. Jordan, how are you going, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I mean, I could have been doing better, I had my friends
Yeah.
turned up for the show, but then they royally dumped me. So to do the hosting myself.
Make it known. Make it known.
No, each one have got a unique reason that I can't really, say anything further. So I'll take it with what I've got. So yeah, the users have to endure it. So and if they have endured so far, probably one more request that I'll do them, if you've come thus far, please like, share, subscribe our channel. It means quite a lot for your support. We've been getting a lot of comments. Keep them coming. Please add in if you've got any suggestions or anything that we want to talk about. With that out of the way, Jordan, I know you mentioned that you've hosted a few spaces there on Twitter, talk mostly about Saint stuff. How is it generally going on there?
What as a fan or just in general?
Yeah, no, I think just more as a fan.
It's not looking good. Like I say, it's not looked great so far. Like obviously, we picked up a win in a week against Bournemouth, but that still didn't look too convincing. We look a bit better defensively. We're just lacking a striker. Like Shea, I rate Shea Adams as a striker, and he does well, but he's just inconsistent. But he is the best we've got at the minute, with the likes of Adam Armstrong. Obviously, thing is, with Adam Armstrong, he puts in an absolute shift and just doesn't stop running. And he's good. He's a good player, but his just finishing product has just not been great since we signed him for Blackburn. But it's like he reminds me a bit like Shane Long. Just doesn't stop running. Just doesn't stop running. But he's a good little player to have there to do the work rate and just not stop, basically. So it's as I said. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna touch more upon that win because it was quite significant. Obviously they are your local rival sort of thing, and then having to go there.
Rivals.
Yeah.
we don't really class it as a rivalry.
No. But at least for you to go there, it's an away game at the Vitality, and having to go there, and then with you securing a win, much needed, by the way, because I know Ralph is under tremendous pressure, like many other managers. One of them have got a boot already by Stevie. But with him, he's been under a lot of pressure lately, and that win do you think it's a sort of a smoke screen, or is that some sort of a process that you could see is sort of getting built up?
Well, the thing is with Ralph, like he's been, like, as a Saints fan myself, I loved Ralph. I loved him when we signed him. I even backed him after both of the 9-0s, and I thought he was a great manager. But coming to the end of last season and then the start of this season, we started so well. Started all right, should I say? Started well, but then it's just inconsistently. Like the amount of points we've dropped from winning positions is unbelievable. Like it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be acceptable, and it shouldn't be happening. Like our win against Bournemouth was, I think it's one win in 6 games. I think it was.
Yeah,
and it's just not cutting it. Like it. Okay, granted we're in 14th now, but that come back end of the season, what's going to happen? Like we're going to be scrapping for relegation again. Like we should have signed a striker in the window, but we were too late. Obviously, linked with Cody Gakpo, which that would have been a dream because he's just absolutely smashing it for PSV now. But it's one of them. I want to sit by Ralph, but it's hard. Like it's hard. Like a lot of the fan base do not want Ralph at the club anymore. Let's just say that. And it's not nice to say.
Is it that probably Ralph has got the tactics and all those sort of things are wrong, or is it the way that he's not been backed by the board to sort of sign the players that he really wanted to?
So go back. Obviously, we got new owners last year, and they've invested. They invested this summer quite generously, biggest investment we've had in a long time. But before that, he didn't really have any investments. He couldn't really do much. He had to work with what he had. But his tactics, so we started with three at the back at the start of the season and a lot of them pre-season, and it didn't look great. Like it was okay yet again, but it just didn't really work out for us. So now we've gone. I don't think he knows what he wants to do. Like in all honesty, he's under a lot of pressure from everybody else, and he's just sat there thinking, getting the tactics wrong. Up until last year as well, he'd sub on the wrong players. Like he would just sub on the likes of Gineppo, who I don't want to sound horrible. He isn't a great player. Like he's not that his end. And then letting the likes of Nathan Teller go out on loan. He's now on loan, smashing it at Burnley, and he's doing good. And there's another attacking player we could do with. Like it's just I don't know. Like it's hard to answer questions when he doesn't even know what he's doing really.
Maybe if we had signed Armando Broa on a permanent deal, that would have been
that's a different story, isn't it? So the thing is with Broja, he, like I said, come in start the season last season, it was great and he looked good. He had the right attitude, but going towards, like I said, second half of the season, his attitude just wasn't there, and he just weren't in for the club. Like I was all for it, and start of the season, we should have tried signing him in January if we could have. Like that would have been insane because then we would have had the momentum to push on. But again, we do a typical thing. We play bad for 3/4 of the season, and then we have one good spell. What has been keeping us up the last few years. So it would have been nice to have Broja. But at the same, like I said, that's what we're missing is a clinical goal scoring striker.
Totally. Talking about that one good spell, what's your reflection on Arsenal this season? We've been having a tremendous run, as you know.
So I've got my uncle and my granddad are actually Arsenal fans. So I've got quite not close rapport with them, but I don't mind Arsenal, and obviously we've got a bit of a bond when it comes to transfers and stuff, like with Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott. It's Cedric as well, but it's Callum Chambers. Yeah, so there's a bit of connection there, and it's nice to see you do well. Like because you've been the last few years, you have been struggling. You've not really been like that team, if you know what I mean, what you used to be. But it's nice to see you back with Arteta, spent a bit of money in the window, but it's done you well. Like signing Jesus is, like I said, is a key point to that team. Is that now you've got a goal scorer there. Like Aubameyang's ego was too much for you guys, I personally think. Now you've got someone who wants to play for the club and is happy to play for the club. And Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, like that attack alone is just so fun to watch, and it's so young. So there's so much future there for the team. I think I said you're top of the league at the minute, like 10 games in. You've only lost one game, and it's just nice football to watch. In all honesty, I do enjoy watching Arsenal play at the minute.
You spoke about the game that we lost, and if I were to look at all the fixtures in the league table and potentially pick out banana skins, one of the first things that I would pick up is St. Mary's. Seriously, it's been a really slippery ground all along. We, even with last year, that obviously we lost there. And if I look at Ralph, and then if we could actually pick up one game from the fixture, he could just pick up only one that that can actually save his career. I think with his eyes closed that he would pick Arsenal.
So knowing us, it probably will be you, because we have a tendency of doing really bad against like the lower league teams and then performing well against the good teams. Like with Man City last season, Tottenham, when we were 2-0 down, we come back to win 3-2. I believe that was it. And then it's like we drew to United last season as well. We've got a team we can put in a shift. It's just chops and changes when they want to play. like we'd go lose to Burnley or someone like that, and it's demoralising because you think, oh, we're on a good run here, we can beat these bigger teams, but it just doesn't happen. Like,
especially Arsenal, because Arsenal, I think you won at St Mary's last year, and then as well as in the FA Cup, we got dumped out. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure it's in one of these 2 seasons that we lost to Southampton. But it's always a tricky place to go to, and I don't know about you guys. You sort of gain some special energy, sort of a thing before facing Arsenal, especially because everybody suddenly comes into form, and then all those people who've been misfiring at the top, they suddenly find their striking boots on, and then we still, be it narrow or whatever, we still sort of lose. Do you sort of a similar thing happening around this time? Do you think that you've got the team to sort of do a similar impact?
No, so being honest, like going into the game, okay, we got a draw against West Ham, but yet again that was very shaky. The win against Bournemouth wasn't convincing enough. But then, what's letting us down is the injuries. Like, we've just lost Carl Walker-Peters to an injury, hamstring injury. Maitland-Niles, like, obviously we've got him on loan for you guys. He would have been ideal because he could have slotted into that right back position, but we can't play him. We are lacking like a massive place at right back in a minute, and we've got quite a few injuries at the minute, so it's hard to say like if we can get a result. In all honesty, I'm expecting you to batter us, like, because you like the way you're playing at the minute. You are literally unstoppable. It's not looking good for us.
There is that, actually. I mean, on record, you could say that Arsenal actually are playing good football, and then the team is sort of set. And I mean, even as a fan myself, I've been reviewing this game or watching this game for quite a long time to say, if we were to look at the team that we had last year to what we are going to be facing, I mean, tomorrow, I would say that we've got a stronger team now, that we can try and force a positive result from our side. But it's always a case where, it's an away ground. It's always going to be tricky. As you said, yes, injuries are definitely going to be playing a part, especially with the Walker-Peters injury, and the fact that you can't be obviously playing Maitland-Niles there. I know we sort of have an edge under our attacking wingers, especially Martinelli and Saka are running riot every game, as you can see. Things necessarily may not pan out, as they are on paper. It's a different thing totally on the pitch, because Leeds gave the most toughest time. If I were to point out to a single game in the Premier League, the Leeds result was actually the most toughest that we've faced. And if Southampton were to look at a blueprint to say how should actually you be setting up a team to hurt Arsenal, then obviously I would be pointing out to the Leeds game straight away.
Well, it's saying that, like, setting up a team to face you right now. It's hard because obviously we've got ABK, like Bella Kotchup, who he's been outstanding for us signing in the window. He's injured. Romeo Lavia, quality, he's been quality for us already. Injured. Tino Livramento injured. That's the only problem here. We are lacking like our quality players and injuries. Like Lianco and is it Celtic Car? Like they can, like they held on against Bournemouth. Like, but unless we're going to play Gineppo at right back, which I really hope we're not. Because
I don't think
was good at wing back, but
I don't think you have much choices there. So let's talk about the potential 11. So Buzuno is going to be starting on goal.
Easy.
Yeah, Pero,
left back.
And then who's going to be he pairing with?
So I think it'll be Salisu and Kaliskar at centre back.
Yeah,
and then right back. I'm not sure. Maybe Lienko, because we don't really have much choice. It'll be either Lienko or we'll chuck in Gineppo there. Or we do have Larios as well, but he plays left back. But I don't know if we'll chuck him in at right back. I'm not sure. That's why I'm not confident in saying who will start there.
Yeah.
that's the only thing. But and then moving on to the midfield, Ward-Prowse will obviously start. Maybe Diallo next to him, and then knowing Ralph, it'll probably be Elyounoussi will play.
Aribo and Elyounoussi.
Aribo, Aribo and Elyounoussi. I'm not too sure about Shea. I don't know if he'll start because he put a massive shift in against Bournemouth, and he's probably knackered. In all honesty, so maybe start Armstrong and Mara as well. It's a catch-22 really, because we're not rested enough. But I would like to see Edozie play, because when he's come on as an impact sub, he's looked good. He generally has looked good for us.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. But like your starting 11's got nothing on ours, so.
Yeah, I think with our starting 11, we are more likely going to be pitching up the same players that played against Leeds. Yeah. I would think so. Even though, I mean, there's been a lot of fans arguing that, Tommy starting at left back was sort of a disaster. It didn't sort of quite work out well, but then he made amends, and then he did actually kept Gakpo quiet against PSV there. So it's safe to say that maybe Arteta would not tinker around the formation and the personnel too much. I mean, he might still keep Tierney from the bench, and then he might try and rotate if in case the game is sort of going our way. So the back four is going to be the newly signed or new contract signed Gabriel, and then Saliba and the centre back pairing. And with
very good centre back pairing though. They are a very good centre back pairing.
See, Gabriel always feels like he's got a mistake in him. That's the general opinion of, I mean, even with us Arsenal fans, although he's good, I mean, we call him brilliantly stupid. He can actually be 90% brilliant, but then he has that 1% of stupidity in him to do something reckless. So we just hope that part of Gabriel doesn't come into picture. I still feel, with him having signed this contract, his confidence should be obviously higher. He should be going good. Midfield, I think I don't expect any changes at all. The only thing, I mean, Partey and Xhaka obviously is going to be partnering the midfield.
Okay, Xhaka has been insane for you. This under Arteta going forward. No, you don't agree?
Yeah, I think what a turnaround.
Done quite well for you. Yeah, well, a turnaround. That's what it. He's doing all right, and then obviously Partey as well. It's a solid centre midfield partnership, isn't it? But he's moving on to
he's doing all right. Is a understatement, mate. Seriously, we Arsenal fans, we thought that we are going to be doing a crowdfunding, and then put together some sort of funds to fund his move to Roma. That's what was going to happen a couple of seasons ago, and look what's happening now. It seems like he's indispensably his most important player. I mean, despite the fact that he's not being the captain, he still has the respect of all the team. He brings in everyone together and asks them to focus more than what Odegaard is doing. So he's been immense. I can keep talking about him. Many of the fans, including myself, at some point in time, we've been wrong in not rating him much, but he's actually just rewarding us with his performances.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot. I speak to my uncle, my granddad about him. Obviously, when he got stripped of the captaincy and stuff like that, they obviously, I think every Arsenal fan wanted him gone. Every Arsenal fan wanted him gone, and then he's done so well to turn it around. And he attacks more now, doesn't he? So
yeah, totally.
He looks good.
Totally, he's actually bringing a new dimension to the team. I mean, even the goal that he scored against PSV, he was just there positioning himself right on to convert that goal. So, I mean, it was not there by chance. He exactly knew what
he knew.
Yeah, sort of a thing. And when it comes to the forward line, obviously Odegaard is going to be at the center of the pitch, and then either side. I'll be waited to see if Martinelli is going to be starting, because obviously he was having a sort of an illness before the PSV game.
And, was he?
Yeah, and then he did start from the bench there in that game. But I'm not sure if he's recovered enough for him to do the 90 minutes. But But mate, both Martinelli and Saka, right? As I've told before, they've been running right on the wings. They just don't seem to stop.
Yeah.
Which is a sort of a problem. Yeah, and potentially the next thing that obviously that we're going to be talking about is how are you going to be tackling both of them? That would be the next question that I'm going to ask you. But yeah, I think just to round it off with the starting 11, obviously Jesus up top. I feel so. I don't think with the October fixtures that Arteta would tinker around too much. He'll try and retain the same lineup is what I can think of. Now, coming to the question that I already spilled out, who do you think would be the danger man from Arsenal who could actually hurt Southampton?
Anyone in that front three. Anyone. That's like our weaknesses at the minute is our defence. So all it can take is Saka or Martinelli running down each of those wings, like turning Perud or whoever plays at right back inside out and just cutting in. And that's the problem we're going to have. Like we're going to get, it's going to be like a flood of Arsenal players just running down that wing, and we are going to we're going to struggle. And I'll be surprised if we do manage to scrape 3 points. That's being grateful, or even a draw. It's going to be very hard. It really is. I don't think if anyone to stop him, Salisu, but like I said, he does have a mistake in him. So it's I don't know. I want it to be like we said about the formation. I want it to be, but Ralph might even go 5 at the back to try defend against you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the danger man. The danger man is every single Arsenal player at the minute.
Okay, that's a bit flattering. But if you were to look at from obviously from Saints' point, and then pick out players who can actually hurt Arsenal, who will you pick with?
Shay Adams, definitely. He's a big brute, and he doesn't really take it from any other players, and he will use his body weight and throw it around, and he can score. Surprisingly, a doozy. If he does actually play, he's so skillful, and he's so quick. He's good on the ball. I think he could do some damage, and then obviously a Ward-Prowse free kick if we get one.
If I were to snatch one player from Southampton, I think
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, totally. Seriously, I love him as a player.
He hasn't been that great at the start of this season, but last season obviously he saved us. So he's everyone loves Ward-Prowse at Saints. It's just he will put in that shift, but even if he hasn't been playing that great, he could literally score a free kick tomorrow, and everyone was like, "Yeah, all right, fair enough." Closing on that Beckham record, he'll have it soon enough.
Totally right. I mean, I would love Ward-Prowse to actually break that record, mate. Seriously, he for whatever that he's done to Saints so far, deserves not just an applause or anything. It just deserves more than that. I would even say should he actually go on to play for another 4-5 years, he deserves a statue outside the stadium, because he literally carried the team last year. We've been
definitely.
With all the players who've been going out of the door, from St. Mary's, and then as a change, to reverse the trend, and then to stop there, and then try and keep working with the players around that he has, and then keep putting this sort of a performance. Mate, seriously, I can't actually praise him enough. He's such a valuable gem, and I just sincerely wish that he stays there. And take your club going forward, definitely.
I hope he does stay, because obviously he has got us out of the mud. But like I said, if next season money comes in, it's 50-50. A lot of people will say he'll stay. A lot of people say he'll go. I personally think he will stay, but only if we start doing better. If we don't start doing better, he won't stay. He won't stay with us, because we've got the investments now. We can go forward. It's just we need to do something about it.
Yeah,
we've got one of the we've got one of the youngest squads in the Premier League, like you guys. It's a very young squad.
Yeah, 25 years and 4 months is the average age. Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
And the likes of Bazunu again, one of a young goalkeeper. He looks so good already. and he's got such a career ahead of him. Same as like Salisu and ABK. It's all these players have such a career ahead of them, and it's whether obviously we're not gonna keep hold of all of them because we will end up selling them because that's the Southampton way, isn't it? Like we sell on our players and then we just But if we can get a nice little cut over the next few years, maybe back in Europa League, then I think we'll be happy. Like we can't set our things too high because it's just unrealistic, isn't it? So
yeah, totally. It's going to be pretty crowded at the top there with lots of investments, and all that sort of things. Now, coming back just to the manager, if you were to assess, should Ralph lose the game at St. Mary's, what would fans think? Is it the time for him to go?
So I think the thing is with that is he's under, like I said, he's under a lot of pressure. He's won one game in 6. He's got a draw against West Ham. The rest against that, it's been loss. I think the win and the draw against West Ham was maybe enough to keep him to have like a grace period against you guys. Like same with Man City. There was no way we were going into that Man City game and stopping Man City. Now they've got Haaland. They're just too good. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, dropping points against Everton, that was like, I personally think like the Villa and Everton games could have been there and then. Like, it should have been there and then. I think we've had him too long. Like, if his redemption story now is going to be he would have to win against you in the next 4 or 5 games and put us on a massive cup run over the fans again, he's going to do something big if he stays. But maybe going into the World Cup, that will be his time gone. Because that will give us time to find a new. The likes of managers, we don't know. Like it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
But we'll take Arteta. We'll take Arteta though. Like if you want to get rid of Arteta, we'll take him.
I think more likely that if he goes on to do the similar things that he's doing here, he'd be likely to be snapped up by some top European club or even Man City in the future. Should Guardiola?
So because he's got a lot of Guardiola in him, and he like his face. Yeah. Obviously, worked alongside him, so he's adapted a lot to the Guardiola way, and you can see it.
Totally. I think the fans are firmly keeping their feet on the ground because obviously, I mean, we went a bit too close to the top 4 last year. That we didn't end up finishing. One of the one of the losses that I keep talking about in almost every part. When I look back at why we didn't is obviously Southampton's game. As one of them, we lost against Southampton, Everton, and Brighton, all 3 in a row. And that definitely it hurt our chances there. I mean, we were flying until that point in time, and things suddenly. So I won't say that things have been completely fixed and it's all looking green and shine. But still, this they have done the right recruitment over the summer, and this team looks.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, like even the because Saliba was on loan to Marseille last season, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's done a very good season there, and obviously signing Ramsdale the window before. Like he's a good goalkeeper, Ramsdale. He is. Like there's no doubt about it. And obviously signing Jesus, that was they're probably
Jesus
one of the best signings in the window.
Yeah,
Zinchenko, is a versatile player. Play left back, can play centre midfield, can play around the pitch. He's very good. Like, but you've done so well in that window. Okay, granted, it cost you a bit of money, but you've made it work.
Yeah, totally.
And like I said, you wouldn't be top of the league. I know it's early stages, but like I said earlier, you're top of the league at the minute. Like you're clear. Honestly, you're not clear. Sorry, you're. What was it? Let me double check. 4 points clear of Man City.
Clear, yeah, 4 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long way to go. Even Arsenal fans don't think.
Oh, of course there is. But like, I think if anything, this season this is the chance you guys will get top 4.
Okay. Yeah. Now I think that's what every fan's almost expecting. The expectation is just top 4, nothing more. Now coming to the last part of the show, I'm going to be asking the predictions for this game.
Okay. That's fine. As what I want, 3-0 Saints. But
you could say
I'll take 1.
Yeah. See, mate, I think
I think
you could say one with your heart and one with your brain. So Yeah, it's
To my heart, 1-0 Saints. My brain 3-0 Arsenal. Easy. It's a hard one. If we do scrape a win, it'll be down to a Bazunu masterclass in goal and Talisu scraping up in the box. But it'll be if Shea starts, then we've got more of a chance to score and win if that is possible. But going into it, it's not looking good because your current form is, you're looking good. So we ain't really, we ain't hopeful at the minute. I want to be hopeful, but you can't be, can you?
In the state of the club, if I say with my heart, then obviously I think I'll say that we will win 1-0, a narrow win. I don't.
What you've 1-0 of your heart?
1-0
that's
my
what
heart.
You're saying.
Arsenal. I meant to say an away win.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be banging goals and all those sort of things. But then if I think through, the old Arsenal fan in me is popping up every now and then. So I feel that there is every chance that we might as well draw the game. That's what I fear the most.
Okay. I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised, with that. But okay.
Yeah, I think I'll still feel that, I mean, we've got a potential, or Southampton has got, I don't know, maybe an X factor considering the past games and all those sort of things, that they can actually try and get a positive result. It's just that, the old creepy Arsenal fan in me comes up every now and then, despite the fact that we've been playing well for so long. It's too good to be true.
Yeah, I get that. Like I said, the last few years for you guys haven't been great, has it?
I mean, I mean, you could say we've been getting results, yes, but then, I mean, even in the Leeds game, right? Saliba sort of did something stupid. That he conceded a goal, which luckily didn't go in. But then, I mean, Bamford was almost there, banging at the goal every now and then. Even in the last minute, VAR sort of helped us, in our favor, but. You might not know how things could actually change in a day or so. So, I mean,
anything can happen on the day, can't it? Anything can happen on the day.
Totally. And that's the part that I just want to be open on. Yeah, I mean, I still think that we've got the team to win, but yeah, we don't know. Anything can happen. Anyways,
I'll take you wrong. I want to be optimistic, but it's just hard to be optimistic at the minute.
No, totally.
When you're not convinced any scoring goals. So yeah.
I don't blame you. Yeah, no, totally. Mate, seriously, it's been a lovely chat. I mean,
yeah, no, it's been nice.
We'll definitely hope for either of us teams to do well, and then we'll see how it goes.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Pleasure is ours.
No worries. Look after yourself.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Cheers. See you, buddy.
Cheers. Bye.